Hi everybody, my name is Jim. I'm the owner of Sprague Woodturning and welcome to my channel. So hopefully everybody's enjoying the box elder burl series of videos that I'm doing on the platters. We still got one more to go. This video is going to be a little sideline from that. So this one we're using beautiful Canadian black walnut and it's got some issues. Big old ugly knot in the inside of it. Doesn't go completely through, but I suspect once it's trimmed up, we'll see it on the outside too. Now, about a month ago, I did the aluminum nugget bowl, and I used purple colored resin with the aluminum nuggets, and I was having some adhesion problems right on the very top. So I've bought a rock tumbler since then, and I've tumbled some of these aluminum nuggets, and we're going to combine that with red resin, and we're going to see if we get better adhesion on the very top, and of course we'll fill in our ugly knot. So that's this week's video. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And of course, anytime I can get a thumbs up on my video certainly helps with the analytics. Sharing my videos on your social media platforms is an absolute bonus as well. And please don't forget to comment. That's where we're going to pick our next winner of our 25,000 subscriber giveaway poll. So let's get over to the bench and I'll show you the difference between the tumbled aluminum nuggets and the ones that are not. And we'll get this trimmed up and get it inlaid. So here's our aluminum nuggets, and of course this is the rock tumbled one, and this is the one that hasn't been. And I'm hoping that by tumbling these that it's got a much stronger tooth for the resin to grab a hold of, but we'll find out eventually. You can tell, you know, there's quite a difference. Now these have actually been taken in and washed, so they're nice and clean and there's no residue on them prior to inlaying them with the resin. All right, so let's get our bowl mounted and trimmed up, and we'll go from there. 750, 750. I tend not to leave too many of these real-time shots in there, so I thought I would do that at the beginning of this, just to give you an idea of how rough things are in the beginning. When the footage is sped up, I find that a lot of times that gets missed. But of course, 5/8 bowl gouge by David Ellsworth. Always do on the outside first and then move to the rim, and of course to the inside. I'm trying to leave this piece of the rim as thick as I can. That inlay is going to need a fairly wide groove to sit in. So, you know, I tried to thin things out in the belly of the bowl and down at the bottom. But of course, I had to leave the rim quite thick in order to do the inlay, like I do actually on a lot of the inlays. This is the Typhoon bit. It's the coarse one. I don't use any of the fine burrs. There's a link in the description down below to Lee Valley where you can purchase these bits. So this round one that you see is actually, use the same link. There's a bunch of different ones you can buy there. And again, this is the coarse one and it works fantastic. So we're going to have to do this in 2 pours. So I've got some plastic on the outside and I've made a little dam with a little funnel inside. So I'm going to put this in the pressure pot after we put the resin in it in this orientation like this. And I'll pour some extra resin in here to make sure that we have enough so that it doesn't go below the surface. Now the reason for that is because I want to finish the sides, sand them, and then do the top. If we try and do this and the top at the same time, you may run into some issues. So I think that it's best to do it this way. That way I can sand this bowl, and if I want to, I can seal it. And then if we get any runs with the resin on the top, there's no issues. So that's what we're doing now. I'm going to mix some resin. So we're going to use the Pro Series from Designer Epoxy. I'm just going to mix up 3 ounces of this. And this is a 2-to-1 resin. So here's 2 ounces. Two parts A, 1 part B. So we're going to go with the Pearl Red. And I am going to measure this because I want the same color in the rim of the bowl. And so I don't want the colors, I want the colors to match. So I'm just going to use 1/4 teaspoon, which is probably plenty. And again, I want this to be a good solid red color. That way if we use 6 ounces tomorrow, I'll just put in 2 of them and it should be an exact match. All right, so this is going to be probably a little hard to see. Anyway, there's our tumbled aluminum nuggets. And I do want to bring it right up to the surface, the interior of the bowl. If it comes past it, that's fine as well. Okay, so there we go. Again, sorry if you can't see all that well. And so those nuggets are above the surface. That way when I cut this back, I'm really trying to maintain the thickness in this rim. But, you know, hopefully it doesn't go too oval when it's in the pressure pot overnight. And I've put that hot melt glue all the way around the very edge of that, so we shouldn't get any resin staining when this cures. Put some duct tape on the very bottom just for a little bit more insurance. Sitting pretty close to being where we want it. All right, it's good news. We didn't have any leaks. Here's the inside. So anyway, let's get this trimmed up, sand it, and then we'll do the inlay in the rim. So I felt that my tool wasn't sliding along on tool rest all that well. So that's a Scotch Brite pad. So what I do is I just kind of polish the top of the tool rest and do the same thing to the tool, and you'll find that the tool slides along the tool rest a lot better. You don't want it to be grabby at all. You want it to be quite fluid as it goes across the tool rest. And of course, there's our first look. And I'll talk a little bit about tool rests. This one is a robust tool rest. That's the name of the company. And there's a bar on the very top of it that's a hardened steel bar. And it'll take a lot of abuse and it doesn't get marked up. On lower end lathes, when you buy them, they come with cast iron tool rests that inevitably get marked up, especially if you're doing a lot of center work with skews and tools that have edges on them. You're going to end up marking up your tool rest. So it's important to take a file and file that down and sand it. You know, I think that I used to sand mine to about 400. You can even put wax on the top of it so the tool glides across the top of it better. If you don't do that, it's going to be hard to get a nice clean cut. And you know, I'm using the Easy Wood finisher here. It's doing a great job cutting that resin and the aluminum back. And it's the tool for the job here for sure. All right, so this is a little hard to see, but got a couple of pieces that have chipped out. And I think that's me just being too aggressive with the gouge when I initially did it, because on the back side, I don't think there's any holes at all. So yeah, probably too aggressive with the gouge. Anyway, all I'm going to do is put some thin CA glue in there and we'll carry on. Again, using the 3.5-inch nipple discs from sandpaper.ca. I want to put finish on this, and the reason for that is so that I don't get any resin staining if we happen to have a spill, which I do. So this is one of the reasons why I like to put a coat of finish on it, just so that that resin doesn't stain the wood. 3/16 parting tool to cut in the inlay area. First coat of salad bowl finish by General Finishes. Now I've only sanded it to 320. Reason for that is I didn't see the point of sanding to 800 on the inside. If I do happen to get a resin run on the inside or the outside of the bowl, it'd have to be all sanded off anyway. Whereas now that the wood is sealed, I can take that 320 and sand the resin back if there's a leak or if there's an overflow, and it's not going to, you're not wasting sandpaper that way. I want to seal this groove up really good. And if you're wondering why I want to seal the groove, and that's to prevent resin from wicking through and staining the end grain. So this is around 10 o'clock in the morning. So what I'm going to do now is just in the clean room for a little bit, and it's a nice sunny day. Put it out in the sun. That way the finish will cure, and I can carry on with the resin inlay later on today. Here I'm just going to wipe off the excess. I don't want the finish to be too heavy on here. That's kind of what it looks like so far. It's a whole lot of Brite aluminum. But, hey, does that ever bring the wood alive? See you in a bit. Alright, so our finish is cured enough that we can go ahead and do this. So I'm just going to put these in here, and what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take it in to the pressure pot and level it. Then we'll mix up some resin and we'll do the pour inside the pressure pot. And this groove was hopefully deep enough that it's not going to be an issue as far as getting any kind of bare spots in it. We should be able to cut it back far enough to try and get an even look across the top. That might look pretty cool even with just a clear resin. I know that others have mentioned that in the past, the last one that we did. And maybe one day we will do one of those. See what it looks like, or I'll show it on the channel here anyway. I can see these being a very popular inlay. Alright, that's it. I'm going to put this in the pressure pot and level it, and I'll be right back and mix up some resin. There, that should be lots. I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see once my arm gets in the way here, but I'll do my best to keep it out of the way. Yep. Should have took those out of there, Jim. I know I should have. And this is why I put the finish on. I do find that, you know, when you put the finish on, especially if you're using thin CA glue, it's a lot more thinner than the resin is, so it will penetrate deeper into the end grain of the wood. So it's really important to put that first coat of finish on to protect the wood. This is what I've been doing with leftover resin. All kinds of different colors in there, and I'll mix some other pigment in with that red that I have now to change the color up a bit. I think I put some green in this one yesterday. All right, put this lid on nice and gently, or nice and gentle. Like, this guy can't talk. Don't want to shake things around too much. Ah. Never mind. All right, see you tomorrow. Back here with the finisher. The great thing about this is you got a very small little area that's actually contacting the inlay. So, you know, there's not such a tendency for it to be real grabby. And it actually cut through this like butter. It actually performed really, really well. I think that I probably could have got away with using the bowl gouge as well. But, you know, these carbide tools seem to really cut the resin. These composite inlays that I'm doing now with the resin better than the gouge. So that's why I'll stay with the carbide with this stuff. All right, so observations from the first one we did like this without the tumbled aluminum. This is way better. There's absolutely none of them that are missing. Where on the one that we did with the purple resin, there was actually quite a few missing. So, you know, it kind of goes to show you that just giving that aluminum a bit of a tooth to hold in the resin will solve your issues. Let's sand it up. All right, so before we start sanding, I just want to point something out. The shavings coming off of this the metal is quite warm, so be careful of that. I was wearing a glove. It's probably a good idea to wear maybe, you know, a coat or something with long sleeves, and that way nothing happens to you. And I was also wearing a self-powered respirator as well. So full face protection is very important. So what we're going to do now is sand. I'm going to start sanding at 60. I'll work my way up to 320, and I'll sand this resin over pour because somebody wasn't watching what they were doing yesterday, and then we'll carry on sanding at 800. So I'm cleaning the resin in the aluminum inlay area mainly is why I'm using this. Now the bottle says denatured alcohol, but it's actually methyl hydrate is what I'm using here. Good luck getting denatured alcohol at a good price in Canada during the pandemic. It is absolutely ridiculous, the cost of it. So anyway, it's methyl hydrate and it's used to clean up the inlay area, mostly. All right, this is the second coat of Salad Bowl Finish by General Finishes. Noticeable difference in the aluminum nuggets adhesion to the resin. I never had to fill any areas where we lost an aluminum nugget. So that really, I'm glad, because that rock tumbler idea really seemed to work. And I certainly will use it for maybe other things. You can get these copper nuggets and aluminum nuggets from the same place. If I think about it, I will leave an Etsy link down in the description down below so that you can get them too. Yep, I like the red. I don't know if you guys are picking that up or not. Liking the red. Furrow steel wool between applications. Again, I've used the synthetic stuff. I prefer to use the real steel wool. The synthetic stuff just doesn't do it for me. That's just all there is to it. All right, this is the third and hopefully last coat of salad bowl finish by General Finishes. It's really technically, I guess, their second because we sanded away the first coat. Anyway, what do you think so far? I think it's pretty nice. I thought I would leave this clip in and show you how I prep the glue block for the next time that it's being used. And I'm using the vacuum chuck. And this is in real time. It kind of shows you what it takes to get it centered. I think I got it after 3 tries there. One of the best investments I ever bought. If you do bowls, get yourself a vacuum chuck. Alright, that's it for the video. Let's have a last little look at our pearl red and aluminum nuggets. A little easier to see there maybe. So shiny. A lot of bling happening, which I really like. All the way through, of course. And our beautiful black walnut. Backside, still need one more coat on the very bottom, but other than that, it's done. So, yeah, shows you the difference between those aluminum nuggets being tumbled in that tumbler. It really gave them an edge for the resin to grab a hold to. And, you know, none of them came out. I didn't have to do any filling on this piece at all, on the up here at all. So I mean, that really shows you that it's important to really strip the shine off that to give the resin or the CA glue something to hold on to. So that's it. Let me know in the description down below what you think about this. We still need a 25,000 subscriber giveaway bowl, and maybe this is the one. Let me know what you think. I'm still on the fence. I really like the purple one too, but this one with the not being filled in on the end, on the sides, is really neat as well. Anyway, let me know in the description down below, and of course that's where we're going to get our next winner for a $25,000 subscriber giveaway bowl. $25,000, I wish. So anyway, let me know in the description, or let me know in the comments down below. So other big news, Mike Hunter from Hunter Tool Systems is going to come on board and sponsor the channel, and what that means is that you guys are going to get a 10% discount when you go to his website and order from his website. And if you remember, I use the Core Pro cutter that goes on the top of the one-way coring knives, and it's an absolutely fantastic product, but he's offering a 10% discount straight across the board on all of his tools. So I will put all the links in the description down below. And so that's it for American customers. For Canadian customers, Ken Rude is his affiliate here in Canada, and all that Ken asks is that you call him. So I will put all of those details in there for Canadian customers if you're interested in any of the Hunter Tool Systems tools. And Ken just wants you to phone him. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Mike, for sponsoring the channel. I've got some tools coming. I'll showcase them on the channel here. We'll have a look at them, pros and cons, and so on and so on. And you know, I'm really looking forward to it. And it's fantastic that he's offering a 10% discount to my subscribers. So that's awesome. Don't forget about Designer Epoxy, Sandpaper.ca, and of course Starbond Adhesives. They're in the description down below as well for your discount codes. We got a video coming up on Friday. Hopefully, if everything goes good, you never know. And that's why it's important to have that bell notification. That way you know when the video goes up. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll put some shots at the end of this, at the end of the video, and we'll see you Friday. So take care, stay safe, and we'll see you.